In a pivotal judgment delivered yesterday by Chief Justice Alfonso Winyidoro, the court clarified that the General Court Martial's jurisdiction is limited to offences under the UPDF Act and is only applicable to individuals subject to military law.
All charges or ongoing criminal trials or pending trials before the courts martial involving civilians must immediately cease and be transferred. Order. I'm going to chase you out. So I said all charges or ongoing criminal trials or pending trials before the courts martial involving civilians must immediately cease and be transferred to the ordinary courts of law with competent jurisdiction. 3, this judgment, you just note, don't stop this clapping thing. This judgment shall have no retrospective effect on any conviction made and sentences imposed prior to the date of this judgment, save where the conviction and sentence is being challenged in a court of law.
According to Justice Success Point, a non-profit organization advocating for justice, accountability and human rights in Uganda, the Supreme Court's decision marks a significant milestone in safeguarding the right to a fair hearing, effectively removing civilians from the jurisdiction of military courts.
Justice Success Point celebrates the landmark Supreme Court ruling on the civilian trials in military courts in Uganda. Justice Success Point welcomes the Supreme Court's landmark ruling in Attorney General versus Honorable Michael Kabaziguruka, affirming that trying civilians in military courts is unconstitutional. This decision upholds the Constitutional Court's 2021 ruling, declaring Section 2, 119 and 179 of Uganda People's Defence Forces Act unconstitutional.
Executive Director Justice Access Point Muhammad Ndifuna notes that JAP has long advocated for comprehensive security sector reform and adherence to domestic and international human rights standards by security agencies.
Supreme Court's decision marks a significant milestone in safeguarding the right to a fair hearing, effectively removing civilians from the jurisdiction of military courts. JAP has long advocated for comprehensive security sector reform and adherence to domestic and international human rights standards by security agencies.
JAP commends the Supreme Court for this courageous decision and reaffirms its commitment to ensuring the effective implementation of this ruling.
We note the key highlights of this ruling, notably the constitutionality of military courts. While military courts like the Summary Trial Authority, STA, and Unit Disciplinary Committee, UDC, are lawfully established under the UPDF Act, they must operate within constitutional limits. And that is a very fundamental ruling.
Ndifuna further states that JAP is committed to supporting accountability and reform within the security sector and will contribute efforts aimed at implementing the recommended reforms. He urges the government to fully commit to implementing the recommendations outlined in the ruling and calls on various stakeholders to support initiatives focused on comprehensive security sector reform.
The ruling finds provisions allowing military courts to try civilians unconstitutional, emphasizing civilians should not face military trials unless under exceptional circumstances with proper justification. 3, unconstitutionality of certain provisions. Sections of UPDF Act granting military courts jurisdiction over crimes involving civilians or capital offenses are unconstitutional. Specifically, Section 179(1) and 2 and 179(2) of the UPDF Act contravenes Article 129, 1D and 126(1) of the Constitution.
Julius Mhomuza, Church of Uganda Family TV, News at 8.